It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. It's also live on all our partner stations across the country. The news is also live across the globe on citynewsroom.com, Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube. I am Wilma Obubi Sakoman, and this afternoon I'm here with
Kweku Ediamansa.
Coming up over the next 1 hour, Member of Parliament for Ketu South, Ablaji Faguma, she calls for closure of some schools in the constituency following a downpour over the weekend that rendered residents homeless.
It's scary. I think that we should close down the schools in the 3 traditional areas where the flooding has happened. That's in Kliko, Agbozume, and Aplawu.
Also coming up, Environmental Protection Agency warns of dire consequences for residents in the central region if the issue of sand winning is not dealt with.
Currently, we are experiencing some form of coastal erosion, but when you go and take the sea from the beach, then it exacerbates the situation because anytime they go and do that.
Still ahead, military officers with anti-Galamsey team Operation Halt 2 seize 5 excavators and destroy other Galamsey equipment in the Bosomchi Forest Reserve. And later, Upper East Regional Public Health Emergency Management Committee in a crunch meeting over recent outbreak of 07.3 in Hohoi. In the northern region, we're on Dasuma 99.1 in Yendi. In the Upper East, you're listening to us on Word FM 88.3 in Zuarungu. In the Upper West, we're on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. And in the Northeast, we're on Eagle FM 94.1 in Wali Wali.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. Now, the Member of Parliament for Ketu South, Abla Jifat Gomashi, is calling for the closure of some schools in the constituency to protect the lives of the students. Her call comes after some residents of Agbozume were rendered homeless over the weekend by floods. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show on measures being taken to provide temporary structure for affected residents, Ablaji Gomachi said schools should remain closed until the rainwater recedes.
What I saw this weekend has even scared me more. The flooding has happened. That's in Kliko, Agbozume, and Aplawu. Water up to my head. At one point I was wearing Wellington boots. I had to take them off because the water had gone inside. And then I jumped onto a motorbike. It didn't make it any better. The situation is really, really, really bad. The amount of water you see on the streets is the same that you see in the rooms of people. So they can't even sleep in their rooms. And the classrooms have water there too. So I'm at my wits' end, and the churches, there's no way you can even send them to go.
Location of 12 million flooding in the Ketu South area last year has stalled.
No, there's nothing going on. I got 100,000 support from Togli Apad, bless his heart, to start one. Though I also was trying to initiate something like that. I had to deposit the check with the assembly because the check was written in the name of the MP's account. We had an issue with the land that I got from Antavaji, but that the chief has given me one now. So the engineer will go and see, and we would start the private one that I was going to initiate. But what I've been calling from when you spoke to me during the 2021, 2022, there's nothing on the side. There's nothing going on.
That was the Member of Parliament for Ketu South, Abla Jifa Gomashimi.
The car gets stuck, and they have to offload most of the materials with on their head. So he said he just want to wait a bit to see. We were all taken by surprise during this rainy season. I also went around with my presiding member, with some of the assembly members in the various areas. But what is happening is it's not the rain alone. It's some of the lagoon banks have overflooded. So that is actually affecting some of the communities. So we are doing everything possible. Actually, we had a plan to do dredging. last year, the rain was very heavy last year. So, in addition to this year's rain, it's making the water level to be very high. We went around not only Agbozuma and Kliko. There's another area called Duta. That one is closer to the border. They are also seriously affected. As for that one, the flood is coming from the Togo side too. If you watch the landscaping at that side, you realize that the Ketu staff, our flower side, is a little bit down. So when it's rained heavily to the Togo side is also coming. What we are planning to do at the short run now is myself and the NADMO director, we're going around to see those who are heavily affected. For instance, in Duta side, we're able to raise some funds and distribute it to people who are seriously affected for them to get a place to put their head. We're also advising some of the affected victims.
Good afternoon, Wilma. So just to provide perspective, the area we are referring to, which is the Keta South, which links to the Keta municipality and the Anglo district, are all areas that lie, are flanked rather, by the sea to the right and the lagoon to the left if you are headed towards Togo from Accra. So it tells you that this communities basically live very close to the water bodies. And in other situations, when we have the tidal waves raging in from the sea to flood their homes, this time the situation is a little different. Rains that continued for about 3 weeks have flooded their homes. And the reason that is happening is because the lagoons and wetlands have been overflooded, and the water is now moving into people's homes. And so the situation now is that people are moving from those areas to their relatives who are on higher ground to have some safety until the situation is brought under control.
Now, how many people estimated have been affected?
So the municipal NADMO director is reporting about 2,000 persons so far. They say that the account so far reveals that about 2,000 people have been impacted severely. Their homes, wetlands have been decimated by the sheer quantity of rain that is pouring from the skies. And so the residents are hoping that truly something is done. The lagoon is dredged so that the water can find its rightful place and position to stay when it comes down from the skies. So that's one key of a key hope they have. The other hope that they have is that they should be provided some temporary place of comfort, mattresses, blankets, and sometimes Wellington boots, able to move around the area in the meantime. And some people have lost even their electrical gadgets and exercise books, for example, for students and all of that. If some support can be provided for them, they said they'll be very grateful about that.
Thank you so much for that update. You keep an eye in the constituency for us, and if there's any update, will come to you. That was my colleague in the Volta region, Benjamin.
In the Volta region, because workers at the Home Municipal Assembly are currently on strike following a directive from the municipal chapter of the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, CLOCSAG. The strike was by the actions of assembly members who stormed the assembly premises demanding the removal of the municipal finance officer, MO, or alleged misconduct. Now, the MFO's office was locked and his official car claimed to do incident. In response, the municipal CLOCSAG chapter called for its members at the assembly to suspend work indefinitely, viewing during the incident, emphasizing that their primary objective was to request the removal of the finance officer from office, Sefaji Agama. An assembly member expressed this viewpoint, suggesting that their actions have been misinterpreted.
We were looking for the good of the Home Municipal Assembly and the entire municipality. But looking at things, we think that the CLOCSAG executives misconstrued our actions into thinking that we were attacking the entirety of the staff of the assembly. That said, they described our actions as terrorist acts, which shouldn't have been the case. In actual fact, we thought that the MFO's attitude and conduct is affecting the work of the assembly in terms of generating funds for the assembly to develop the municipality. So our action largely was to get rid of the MFO to pave way for the progress of work. But I can assure our listeners and viewers that we've had a stakeholder engagement involving the regional minister, the MC and coordinating director, CLOSAC, and then the controller and accountant, chief accountant of Volta region. And we are praying that by close of date today, a joint communique will be issued for work to resume at the assembly. So we want to assure the general public that the assembly is safe, the environment is safe for our technocrats to work.
Sefaji Agama is an assembly member for the whole municipal assembly.
Now, away from that, the Environmental Protection Agency has warned of dire consequences if sun winning in the central region is not dealt with. The agency says persons engaged in the act often do so late at night, despite the severe threat it poses to livelihoods, schools, and historic structures in the area, among others. Speaking to Citi News, the Central Regional Director for EPA, Shine Fiagoma, said although the agency is doing its best at controlling the act, residents around Commander are reeling from the effects of the illegality.
The situation is not dire, but we don't have to wait for it to get bad before we put in systems to address the problem, because it is a threat to our livelihood. There are some communities along the coast, let's say around Mori, Commander, and gradually coastal erosion is affecting them, and some people property have been displaced. That's why I'm saying it will affect their livelihood, because if you have to move from where you are to another place, let's assume you are a fisherman, but when you leave your fishing community and go and settle at a place where they farm, you cannot be able to take care of your family. That's why I'm saying to affect their livelihood. So what happens is that currently we are experiencing some form of coastal erosion. But when you go and take the sea from the beach, then it exacerbates the situation. So for now, the average erosion is about 1.5 meters a year. But if you go and keep on scooping the sand at the beach, then it can even get to about 2 meters. I just want to appeal to them to desist from the act, because anytime they go and do that, it means they are exposing the community to a danger, and it is very expensive to put up sea defense. So when we desist from that, maybe the money that the government will use to spend on sea defense, that money can be used to put up other infrastructure facilities. We need to support the government by desisting from that act.
That was the Central Regional Director for Environmental Protection Agency, Shine Fiagoma. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, military officers with anti-Galamsey Team Operation Halt 2. They've seized 5 excavators and destroyed other Galamsey equipment in the Bosomtwe Forest Reserve. We'll bring you details of that story and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Ajwapa, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant, and she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Ama, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs and HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, military officers with the anti-illegal mining team known as Operation Halt 2 have seized 5 excavators and destroyed other mining equipment in the Bosomtwe Range Forest Reserve in place in almost all mining areas in the Ashanti region as the practice appears to have gotten worse. The military has thus intensified efforts aimed at clamping down on such activities in the region. Speaking to the media after a 4-day exercise, the Deputy Command Operations Officer Central Command, Lieutenant Colonel
picked a signal that some people return to those areas to still mine. So I'm appealing to all stakeholders to join the fight against illegal mining because it's not only the military that can solve this problem. We can come and stabilize the environment, but other stakeholders must also go in to do the needful to ensure that the environment is safe for our future generations. As for the operators, I'm telling them that it is illegal, and if they are arrested, we will hand them over to the police because they are responsible for prosecuting them and then ensuring that justice is done. So I am telling them that what they are doing is not good. They should stop. It is damaging the environment, and at the end of the day, it will affect us in future because our sources of water are polluted following activities of illegal miners. So I'm appealing to them to stop. If they don't and we arrest them, we'll hand them over to the police for the law to take its course.
You heard the Deputy Command Operations Officer Central Command, Lieutenant Colonel Louis Boachi.
Now, health officials in the Amansi West district of the Ashanti region have blamed the high cases of malaria in the district on the activities of illegal miners. The officials say diseases such as malaria, cholera, and diarrhea are caused by polluted water bodies by illegal miners. City News' Ashanti regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani reports.
Major water bodies and farmlands within the Amansia West district have been destroyed by illegal miners. Asantehene Otunfo Osaitutu II recently expressed worry over the destruction caused by illegal miners in the Amansia areas of the Ashanti region. Health authorities in the Amansia West district say illegal mining is negatively impacting healthcare delivery in the area. Health Director at the Amansia West district, Farm Bernard Bedubediakun, gives a breakdown of the cases.
If you look at our top 10 OPD morbidities, you'd realize that number 3, we start with malaria, obviously because of the galamsey, the open pits. So we are having a lot of malaria cases. And then, secondly, we are also having upper respiratory tract infections, also from the bad road network. Then thirdly, we are having diarrhea diseases. And this comes as a result of the infested water bodies. Okay, so the water itself is already infested. And then the children also playing in it and playing in the soil and all those. So intestinal worms is also another issue here. Then fourthly is hypertension. And fifthly, diarrhea diseases. Most of them are waterborne diseases. So the galamsey by itself is having a toll on the health of the people here. Some are also reporting with skin diseases. However, we have not done much studies to link it to the galamsey.
A former member of parliament for Mansun Konta, Joseph Albert Kwam, is urging authorities to act with dispatch to address the situation.
Serious attention. For me, I have discussed with some constituents, especially the miners, to make sure that mango, as well as coconut and that of palm nuts, should be taken into consideration. Everybody should take advantage of that. And then in their own small way, reclaim their land and make sure that they plant edible fruits, not just any woodlot, that can benefit us in the near future.
Health officials in the district revealed that only 62% out of 100 patients who turn up at health facilities are registered with the National Health Insurance Scheme. This results in most people not being able to seek medical care due to financial barriers. The former Mansun Konta MP, Albert Kwam, is stepping up medical outreach within the area to give care to inhabitants.
We all know how difficult it is around times like this. We cannot afford, we cannot look at people to die on a sick bed just because of money. So I decided we need to put down some funds to do that project. So around November, we spent about 765,000 Ghana cedis helping innocent Ghanaians to receive quality surgery in this hospital. Again, today, I also decided I'll go solo to help a lot of people. At least the minimum should be about 4,000 people within the environment. The simple reason is that, yes, they come to hospital with their national health insurance, but they still have some challenges. Sometimes when it comes to some medications where insurance does not cover, they find it difficult paying. So I decided to introduce at least Profcom Health Insurance as part of Profcom Foundation to help these people.
Health officials in the area are calling for improved health infrastructure to enhance medical care.
Health workers are calling on the government to resource facilities in this area to ensure quality health care delivery. Hafiz Tijani, City News, Mansun Kwanta, Ashanti Region.
Now, from the Ashanti region, let's take you to the Upper East region because the Public Health Emergency Management Committee of the region is in a crunch meeting to update and review measures on the outbreak of anthrax in the region. The outbreak of the disease in 4 districts of the region resulted in the death of 1 person. 13 people have also been infected, compelling it on the ongoing anthrax vaccinations and deliberations on when to lift the ban.
Now, away from that, President Akufo-Addo says appointing Justice Gertrude Tokonu as the country's new Chief Justice was not a difficult task as she possesses the qualities to lead the judiciary. Speaking at the swearing-in of the new Chief Justice at the Jubilee House, President Akufo-Addo said Madame Tokonu has what it takes to
the 4th President of the 4th Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, as a Justice of the Court of Appeal, a position she held for 7 years. I have the honor on 17 December 2019 to appoint her to the Supreme Court. All 3 living presidents of the Republic have each had a hand in her judicial advancement.
You had the President Akufo-Addo. Now, the new Chief Justice on her part pledged to clean the judiciary by introducing technology to help the process.
After 2 decades of tackling the issue of automation, only 62% of courts use computers as part of their work. And computerization is only the first level of automation of court processes. After acquiring electronic devices to capture records of the registries and offices of stakeholders must be networked in order to allow for the next level of automation. This is a national burden, and we are slowed down by any sluggishness in the nation's digitalization drive. Currently, our records show that only 26% of courts are networked, and only 12% of courts have been brought into the bracket of full automation in the operation through digitalization of their processes. The statement, quote, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong, unquote, is attributed to the author and blogger Mandy Hill. It is in this context that as much as the judiciary appreciates the level of investment being made in the physical structures of new courts, We have also taken steps to review all rules.
Gertrude Tokonu. Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagman, is urging the implementation of strategic measures to enhance democratic governance and expedite the development of the country. He expressed concern over the global decline in democratic governance and cautioned that Ghana's situation could worsen if proactive steps are not taken to safeguard it. The Speaker made these remarks at a press soiree held in Tamale, the capital of the northern region. The event was held as part of the activities commemorating.
Media is the fourth arm of the governance of a country. People are using realm of the country. It is the reality. Without the media, there will be no government.
The speaker also waded into the ongoing debate on the usage of artificial intelligence. He described the tool as a double-edged sword that is valuable to the fast-changing technological world. Note
that may even go beyond AI. We are moving towards capturing the voice of Jesus Christ and Methuselah and Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, and all those. That's where we are moving towards. You know, the mysteries of the world are now being unearthed, and we are trying to emulate Allah himself, and that is a great thing. But it will help us. But the negative aspect is the problem. That's the challenge to us. And I think the world over, there are some efforts to try to regulate it, not to stop it, not to prevent it, not to extinguish it or exterminate it, no, but to regulate it in such a way that we can reduce the fallout, the negative aspects of AI. But I think it's good. A member made a statement on the floor. Members of Parliament have expressed their views. There's a proposal for us to legislate on it, and so we have to consult stakeholders who work together, those who are experts and specialists in the.
And armed robberies are, a constant threat to our society, and the need for the police to, work to tackle this threatening phenomenon not be underscored. And so let nobody, get it wrong that we are trying to pamper or accommodate such practices within our society. But we must understand that when the police act in manners that they did on the 8th of June, and it results in the loss of death, as a people, we have every right to question the police to give us more details, because police accountability means that police activity, ranging from the behavior of single police officers.
Bisa Coleman, and I'm doing this with Kweku Ediama Ansa. Still ahead in the bulletin, the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has announced intentions to restrict tricycle riders from operating within the central business district of Kumasi. We'll bring you more on this and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
The Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty LEAP program will commence the payment of money to beneficiary households for the 83rd and 84th on the 12th of June 2023. The government has increased by 100% the bi-monthly money paid to each household. The amount paid to beneficiary households is not the same, but is determined by the number of eligible members. One eligible member household will receive 128 Ghana cedis. Two eligible members will receive 152 Ghana cedis. 3 eligible members will receive 176 Ghana cedis, and 4 and more eligible members will receive 212 Ghana cedis. All caregivers of households are to count their money before leaving the pay point or ask your community volunteer or the after being paid and keep it for reference. Not give part of your money to for any reason. Spend money on your household, especially on nutrition and other productive activities, because you will not be on the program forever. Report any concerns or complaints to your community volunteer, district social welfare officer, or these toll-free numbers 0800 800 800 or 800 900 900.
Remember, the amount you receive is double. This message is from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection and the Leave Management Secretariat.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
And connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has announced its intention to restrict tricycle riders from operating within the central business district of Kumasi. The Assembly aims to control congestion in the area through this directive. Additionally, the Assembly's research indicates that the tricycles are frequently involved in road accidents within the metropolis, further justifying the decision. Henriette.
And encouraging them. And so, since it has to be a national decision to ask them to stop and know that we as an assembly, what we can do, because we regulate movements into the CBD, into the city within our jurisdiction, what the assembly seeks to do is to restrict their movements into the central business district. And so when the proposal was upheld by the EXECO, it was taken to the General Assembly, and then on the 27th of April General Assembly meeting, it was taken into consideration, was accepted, which has become assembly decision for it to be implemented.
Henrietta Ifyakunedu Abuaji is the Public Relations Officer of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly.
In more stories, the Adan West Municipal Assembly in Accra says it has written to appropriate government agencies to appeal for funds to build a sea defense that will protect the community. This comes after tidal waves hit communities in Adan West on June 9, rendering people homeless and jobless. Now, speaking to Citi News, the chief executive of the Assembly, Samson Tete, says he is also calling on private investors to support the community.
We are sending a report to the NAGMO regional office, and then we'll see what will be the reaction. But then, as usual, the problem in my area has to be solved by we wanted to do the sea defense if we should have the chance. Other than that, this has been happening, and relief items, the people are fed up with relief items. So bringing a relief item this time round, we don't think we'll solve the problem. So we are writing to the regional office seeking for sea defense. No, we are only seeking for private sector investors, and then those operating in the area, whoever is that wanted to help the district. We are ready. Our doors are open for anybody with an idea that can help us to get sea defense and therefore change the situation.
So we had there Samson Tete Bangpa, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Adan West Municipal Assembly.
Now, the Member of Parliament for New Jabing South constituency, Michael Kofi Otrebefi, has vowed to make commercial sex work an unprofitable venture in Koforidua in the Eastern region. He expressed concern about the increasing prevalence of commercial sex work in the city, highlighting its potential negative impact on the youth and the city's reputation. Mr. Otrebefi authorized an operation by the Koforidua District Police Command.
Centralization and Rural Development, Dan Butcher, has paid a working visit to the beneficiary metropolitan and municipal assemblies of the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development GARID project to assess the progress of the ongoing desilting works on local drains.
Prosecutors to ensure that the suspect receives the necessary medical attention. The case has been adjourned to July 3, 2023. The father of the deceased, Michael Taina, in an interview with Citi News, says they are not concerned about the slow pace of the trial.
So far, the case has adjourned to next month on the 3rd, July on the 3rd. So when he came to the court, what he said was he was sick. So he's pleading with the court to, give him time to go to hospital. So the lawyer asked the police, the prosecutor, if what he said is true. He told him earlier on, last Wednesday, that I was sick. But they haven't transportation